What's up, guys? This is Big D, and once again, you're watching Big D Films. Welcome back once again for another edition of the Shattered Glass Saloon, where we talk all things motorcycles. And today, I got a special little topic to talk to you guys about, but first, grab yourself a seat, grab your drink, and then we'll start this discussion. Cheers. Now, topic of conversation for today. If you've been riding motorcycles for a decent period of time, you'll know exactly where I'm coming from with this. Any motorcyclist that's owned or ridden multiple different motorcycles, you have a favorite one. You have a favorite one for a reason. And this isn't quite exactly what I was talking about in a previous video where I was asking what is your favorite type of motorcycle. This is what is your favorite motorcycle that you have ever personally owned. For me, it's pretty obvious. I've been actually talking about it off and on for the last month, this whole month of October. And as far as this discussion goes, this could be the motorcycle that you currently own right now. This could be one, maybe it was your first motorcycle that you ever owned. Maybe it was handed down to you. Maybe someone else in your family or friend owned it. Maybe it's got some sentimental value. There's a certain particular motorcycle that you've ridden or that you've owned that has been your favorite one, and it's been for a reason. Maybe it just rode a certain way. You know, maybe if you're like me, you've made some memories with this machine, and it's memories that you'll hold on to for the rest of your life. I'd like to think that most motorcyclists, not everybody, I know that there's a few people out there that, you know, the motorcycle was just a motorcycle, and if there's another one that, you know, comes around that's nicer and faster and more technologically advanced than this one, then, well, off with that one, and I'll just get the new one, and off we go. I don't think all motorcycles are like that. I think a lot of them, I would like to think, are a lot like me, where you start to, I guess, as silly as this might sound, form a bond with that particular machine for one reason or another. And it has a special place in your heart, you know? For me, again, that one is completely obvious, and that one is the Undertaker. Now, the Undertaker, for those of you who might just be tuning in and don't know, the Undertaker was a motorcycle that I owned. It was a 2006 Road King Custom. It was decked out from front to back at a custom paint job, Quadzilla aftermarket fairing. The soft saddlebags were removed. We had the hard saddlebags, extended saddlebags. We had like I want to say they were like 18-inch ape hangers. I want to say that because I didn't put them on there. They were on there when I bought it, so I'm not 100% sure what size they were, but they were at least 18-inch handlebars, and you know it was comfortable, and you know I had so many little skulls all over it. It kind of spoke to me. It was, I think I mentioned in another video, you know, people that customize their motorcycles. They do so, and it's an extension of them. It becomes an extension of who they are, an extension of their personality. And that's exactly what the Undertaker was to me. It screamed me, you know, to a T. The purple was strange to me. And I remember when I first saw the bike for the first time, I was down at Monroe Motorsports. I was just there not too long ago. You've seen it in a previous video. But I went to go in there, and I wanted a bike kind of like what I got now. I wanted one with hardly any chrome on it. I wanted it all blacked out from front to back because that's what I really wanted. That's what I envisioned myself on. And I walked in, and they had the Undertaker sitting there on the showroom floor. I'm like, oh, man, that is cool. At the time, I was riding a 2008 105th anniversary edition Dyna Y-Glide. It was an amazing bike. Awesome machine. It's one I do still wish I had to this day. It was a phenomenal motorcycle. But I did take it to Baldwin. It was a 3-day trip, and I got back from that trip, and I said, you know, this just isn't quite what I'm looking for. You know, it's not quite suited for the kind of riding that I want to do. So I looked at to, get something else. It just wasn't doing it for me. So again, hence I went to Monroe Motorsports. They had the Undertaker sitting there. And the first time I saw it, it had some like fringe hanging off the floorboards and the handlebars, and that's not really my thing. But the paint job, the way that you see the Undertaker in several of my pictures, especially on Instagram, and if you're not following me there, you should be. Link in the description. It was basically that exact same way from the moment that I bought it. Now, I did take the fringe stuff off, and it had a removable trunk, which was nice, aftermarket trunk, and I put a big, tall sissy bar on it, that was just something I really thought was cool. But the way that the bike was set up with those ape hangers, I've always loved the ape hangers. I'm not talking like way up here, but the Undertaker wasn't like that. The Undertaker sitting in the saddle, with those 18-inch ape hangers, it sounds tall as hell, and it is. But for me, I don't know if I just got a lot of, upper body or what, but with arms completely outstretched, it was about completely shoulder height, completely level, and it was so comfortable. I loved it. And I don't care what anybody says. The stock handlebars on any motorcycle, they gots to go, and I got to get me some ape hangers, because not only is it more comfortable, but it's, even with one hand, I can just go in and out of corners and tight corners and everything. You got so much more leverage over the machine when you got, some handlebars that got some height to them. But anyway, so it rode nice. The looks of it, again, I went in for something completely all blacked out, and I walked in and I explained to the guys, this is what I'm paying for the one that I currently have now, and yada yada, and salesman goes, give me a second. And he walks to the back, and he does some numbers, and he comes back to me, and he goes, I tell you what, we can get you this bike. Well, you trade your other one into us, or back into us, because I bought the Wide Glide from there as well. You trade that one back into us. We'll pay it off for you. And we'll start you on this one fresh. Nothing carries over for $6 more a month than you're already paying. I said, really? Where's the pen? Sign me up. I'm all about it. So I went in looking for, kind of like a night train or something that's all black, and I walked out with this. And it was the greatest decision I ever made. There was one little downside to it. This was an 06. The Wide Glide was an 08. The Wide Glide had the 96 cubic inch engine with a 6-speed. The Undertaker, the Road King, was the 88 cubic inch with a 5-speed. Now, it took a little to get used to not having that extra gear, but after a while, I kind of got used to it. It didn't really bother me so much, and that was not really that big of a deal. So now I got this bike that is so much more comfortable than the Wide Glide was. The Wide Glide was comfortable. Again, I have nothing but good things to say about the Wide Glide that I had. But this one was more set up for me and what I wanted and what I wanted it to look like. It was one of a kind. And that's a very big thing to me. I've always wanted to stand out. I don't ever want to just be another faceless individual amongst a crowd. I want to be noticed. I want to stand out and not just blend in. I want my motorcycle, again, to be an extension of that, an extension of me. And so I didn't want my motorcycle to just be just some other, stock Road King or, stock Harley, stock motorcycle, stock whatever. I wanted something that screamed, hey, look at me, I'm different. It's because I'm different. So it worked out very well for me for that. And so now I'm very happy with this motorcycle, and I'm riding all over the place, and we started doing some trips, and now it's, now I really know that this was a good idea. I got so much space, to put things for a couple-day trip, and I can just disappear, and be comfortable and have whatever it is I need to carry with me. And at that point, not only was I already happy with it, the way that it looked, with the way that it felt, the way that it rode, I loved everything about it, but then came the making the memories with the Undertaker. Shortly after getting it, maybe a month or two, and now I'm going up north. up to the Upper Peninsula with a couple of my club brothers, and we're riding across the Mackinac Bridge. Stuff that I'd never done on either the Wide Glide or one of the Sporties that I own. Any other motorcycle that I'd done, I've never done something like this on a bike before. So now I'm riding across the Mackinac Bridge. I'm going to Sault Ste. Marie. I'm going to Mackinac City. I'm going all over the place on this bike up there on that trip, riding back along Lake Huron. It was amazing. And having that bike made that trip so much better and so much more enjoyable. And after that trip, you do the Baldwin trip again the following year. And then I start to do so many cool things over the years while on that motorcycle, hence making all these different memories. And over the years, I'd end up starting this channel with that bike and doing the Traverse City trip in 2015. And, the sand dunes and the Leelanau Peninsula and that kind of thing, which was awesome. And then some other time down the road, we'd go back up to the Upper Peninsula again. There was, in 2017, we did the 6-day trip where we went to Muskegon and we rolled up on a ferry that took us across Lake Michigan. And I was able to ride that bike right into the parking lot of the Harley Davidson Museum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which was really, really cool. From there, go back up through Wisconsin and all the way to, Lake of the Clouds, and then riding H58 and, all the way back over to Paradise. And just so many miles, so many hours, and so many memories I made on that motorcycle that I started to grow an attachment to it. You know what I mean? Not only did I have these trips, we had amazing highs, together, me and this motorcycle, and we had some pretty bad lows too. It was that 6-day trip we were on the way back from, and, had this bolt break on me, and I almost lost a passenger floorboard. Well, here we are at Great Lakes Harley Davidson, and they closed. But on top of that, leave it to me to have the issue, right? It's an 06. You wouldn't think I'd have that many issues with this goddamn bike. But look. Actually, there's so much glare I can't even see nothing. But damn bolt broke. And my whole damn thing, I almost lost. Very close to losing. So that was a thing, but that's one of those memories, and I've mentioned it a couple times over these last few videos, over these last couple weeks and this month, that trip in 2015, the original Traverse City trip, and I had my throttle cable break on me. And we have a small problem. This. As in, no throttle. Deciphered the problem, and it's a biggin. That there is what is left of the throttle cable that's supposed to go in there. So, we're kind of stranded. So it basically stranded me outside of Traverse City. So all these things, wrapped up in, what was my adventures with the Undertaker. And it made it so special to me that I think that motorcycle will always have a special place in my heart because of so many things that I got to do and so many different things I got to experience while owning that motorcycle. And, it was one of them things that, the day I got rid of it, it just, it didn't feel quite right. It's one of them things that, it's that old school saying, you don't know what you got till it's gone. This was a prime example of that. It was giving me a lot of problems. At one point, I was spending every couple weeks $800 to fix this, $1,000 to fix that, and it's in the shop week after week, and and it was decent riding weather still, in this state, because, in this state, we only get so many months of that. And I'm missing out on valuable riding time, right? And, I thought to myself, if I'm going to keep throwing money at a motorcycle like this, I might as well at least get something newer. I might as well get something that, if I'm making a payment, at least I can ride the thing. Whereas this, I'm spending way more than what I'd be spending for a payment. Obviously, if I were to just fix the things on this one, I wouldn't spend as much in the long run, but my thing has always been, I always have a little money to spread out. I don't have a lot of money now. So it was kind of one of those solutions to that problem. And so I go to trade it in, and I had the one video where I kind of said my goodbyes to the Undertaker. And, I go to ride the new bike home, which was a 2017 Road King. And it just something didn't feel right. Something didn't sit right. I've kicked myself for it every single day because it was probably the worst decision I ever made. The Road King only lasted a year before I got rid of that one, and now I've got Grim. Now, Grim and I, we're starting to get, I think, that connection. There's a lot of things visually that I would like to do and have done to the bike to, again, make it my own, for it to stand out and be that extension of my personality. But the Traverse City trip we had just done, the Smoky Mountain trip that we did in 2019, stuff like that, we're making memories now, and it's great, and I do enjoy the hell out of this motorcycle. This 2019 Street Glide is a phenomenal machine. It's very comfortable. Haven't had any problems. And it's got a hell of a lot of power with that 114 engine. But still, I think about the Undertaker a lot, and how much fun and how much experience that I got to, I got to have with that motorcycle. And again, that's going from, I went from a Sportster to a Dyna to this big Road King, but since it had the giant fairing, it had those big extended bags with that aftermarket trunk, it looked like, without the trunk, looked like a Street Glide. You put the trunk on it, in a sense, in a way, kind of looked like one of the big Ultras. And so the Dyna had some weight, but the Undertaker had a lot of weight. So I think with the Undertaker being that, I got to learn a lot while riding that motorcycle as well, because of the weight difference, how to maneuver the bike, exactly what I needed to do, how to, just maneuver around corners and just, how I had to, ride, on a bigger, a lot heavier bike like that. And I think that's definitely helped me in the long run. Cause, Grim, for instance, as soon as I bought that, 100% comfortable. There didn't feel like there was really much of a learning curve. I jumped right on it and just going down the road, and I'm just 100% comfortable. I know what to do. I know how it feels, and it was like a match made in heaven almost at that point. But it wouldn't have been like that if it wouldn't have been for the things that I had learned and experienced while riding the Undertaker. So, bar none, hands down, 100%, my absolute favorite motorcycle that I've ever owned, without a doubt, is the Undertaker. And, I'm glad I've got so many videos that I've done here for the channel, like those trips, or like the Road to Discovery series that, we just recapped not too long ago. It was, and I got so many different pictures and stuff. So I get to relive those memories through the pictures and through the videos and stuff. And it's just really, really cool because of the experiences and the things that I learned, while riding that motorcycle. So, very special to me and very important to me. So what I want to know now, because this is where you guys come in. I want to know, as I'd mentioned, what is the favorite motorcycle that you ever owned and why? again, maybe you're a new rider. Maybe you only have rode 1 or 2 bikes or something, or maybe you're just still riding your first bike. Maybe you've been riding 10, 15, maybe even 20 years and have had several different motorcycles. Which is your favorite one and why? You know, have you had some of these experiences like I'm talking about? Did you learn something on that motorcycle? You know, again, does it have some kind of sentimental value? You know, I want to hear these stories from you guys. So, with that being said, I want to thank you guys very, very much for tuning into all of these videos over this past month as I celebrated 5 years here on Big D Films in the special month-long look back at remembering The Undertaker and being able to remember all these things. It's very special to me. It's very important to me. And I thank you guys for watching and sticking around and, you know, commenting and, you know, sharing all that stuff. It means a lot. And so, again, very special thanks to you guys all for that. So with that, this edition of the Shattered Glass Saloon has come to an end. And that means the Shattered Glass Saloon is closed. But those things I talked about, the things that I asked you, drop your comments below so that we can keep this discussion going in the after hours. But until next time, excuse me, almost forgot. If you like this video, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so that you know when the Shattered Glass Saloon is once again open for business. And until next time, I am Big D. You've been watching Big D Films. And until next time, we'll catch you down the road.